Flames cover twisted steel as Mogami burns in the black waters of Surigao Strait. Shells pound her hull with decks collapsing under thunder, mighty once, but doomed beyond salvation. This is the tragic fall of IJN Mogami, night of October 25th, 1944. The sea glows with flame as Mogami surges through Surigao Strait, battered and half-blind. Radar operators call out contact after contact, with literally dozens of enemy ships converging. The bridge shakes violently as salvos erupt from the darkness. American battleships, West Virginia, Tennessee, California, unleash full broadsides. Their shells streak red through the smoke, smashing into Mogami's upper decks. The cruiser's return fire is erratic, her targeting radar overwhelmed by interference and chaos. Shells detonate near the aft turrets, ripping open fuel lines. Crewmen scramble through choking smoke, hauling hoses, passing ammunition by hand. Below deck, engineers fight flooding with buckets as fires rage unchecked. The ship lists slightly, yet keeps firing, refusing to die quietly. Through the glare of burning oil, enemy destroyers close in. Torpedo wakes slice across the black water. Impact, the hull shudders. Power flickers, then dies. Inside the shattered bridge, voices blur into static. Mogami, which was once the pride of Japan's cruiser fleet, is now fighting for seconds, not victory. To understand her fall, we rewind to the secret gamble that built her. In the 1930s, Japan walked a thin line between ambition and deception. The Washington Naval Treaty limited cruiser tonnage to 10,000 tons on paper. But on the slips at Kura Naval Arsenal, engineers quietly pushed beyond every boundary. They created Mogami as a vessel that defied the rules. Officially a light cruiser, she carried 15 6.1-inch guns in 5 triple turrets, which was an unprecedented concentration of firepower. Her hull was welded instead of riveted, a cutting-edge innovation meant to save weight. In reality, it weakened her structure. Sea trials exposed the truth. At full speed, the hull flexed and buckled under its own strain. Rivets tore loose, decks warped, and bulkheads cracked audibly. What was meant to be stealth engineering brilliance became a national embarrassment, but Japan couldn't afford retreat. Reinforcements were ordered, weight added, guns recalibrated. Mogami was declared ready, powerful, but fundamentally unstable. She embodied the tension of her time, technological audacity built on political denial, and a navy willing to gamble everything on appearances. But Japan refused to abandon her, choosing reconstruction over humiliation and defeat. By 1935, the damage was undeniable. Mogami's hull flexed like paper in rough seas, rivets sheared off during turns. She was withdrawn from service, embarrassing for a navy that prided itself on perfection. The solution was rather drastic. Engineers stripped her down to the framework, reinforcing her hull with heavier plating. The experimental welding was replaced with riveted seams, and her lighter guns, once the hallmark of treaty deception, were now discarded for 8-inch main batteries. So she emerged heavier, slower, but deadlier, no longer a light cruiser, but a full-fledged heavy one. Propaganda even called it a rebirth. Within the fleet, it was an engineering gamble masked as triumph. Mogami's new armament promised power, yet the old weaknesses still lingered deep in her frame. Under pressure, vibrations still rippled through her decks, though. She was a phoenix reborn, but fragile beneath the armor. By 1942, she returned to war again, sleek, rearmed and ready. But hidden in every rivet was a flaw Japan never truly fixed. Her return to war would prove costly, and Midway would mark the first scar. June 5th, 1942. The Battle of Midway rages across the Pacific. Mogami steams with Cruiser Division 7, retreating after the destruction of Japan's carriers. Above, American dive bombers hunt relentlessly, striking anything that moves. Evasive maneuvers turn chaos into catastrophe. As Mogami swings hard to port to avoid incoming bombs, her sister ship Mikuma crosses too close. In seconds, the two collide, steel grinding against steel. Mogami's bow crumples inward, bulkheads rupture, and fuel spills into the sea. The impact cripples both ships. Damage control crews race to seal compartments as smoke thickens and flames rise. Then the bombers return. Helldivers from Enterprise and Hornet attack in waves, dropping ordnance with ruthless precision. Mikuma takes direct hits, explosions tearing her apart until she vanishes in fire. Mogami drifts nearby, half dead, her decks scorched, her guns silent. She survives only because the Americans run out of bombs. That day, she earns her fate, damaged beyond repair, yet never allowed to rest. But survival came at a price. Her next form blurred purpose with desperation. The Imperial Japanese Navy faces a crisis of imagination. Aircraft carriers dominate the Pacific, and battleships grow obsolete overnight. In a desperate act of adaptation, engineers turn to Mogami. Her rear 8-inch turrets are now removed. In their place, a short flight deck stretches across her stern, capable of launching reconnaissance float planes. She becomes a hybrid cruiser, part scout, part gunship, yet never fully either. On paper, it's innovation. In reality, it's a compromise born of fear. The conversion adds weight, reduces stability, and limits her striking power. Crews struggle to manage catapults, aircraft cranes, and anti-aircraft batteries all at once. While American shipyards churn out full carriers with precision, Japan experiments with half measures. The Mogami's new form symbolizes a navy trying to stay relevant in a war it no longer understands. Each mission grows more perilous, each refit more futile. She sails again, but this time it's not as a weapon of dominance, but as a vessel of dwindling hope. And as dawn broke over Leyte Gulf, Mogami sailed towards certain death. October 25th, 1944. The black waters of Surigao Strait ignite once more. Admiral Nishimura's southern force pushes forward. An act of duty, not strategy. Mogami takes her place in line, engines straining, radar screens flickering, then contact. Torpedoes streak through the darkness, launched by her own destroyers in confusion. One strikes home, ripping into her port side. This caused steering to jam and power to flicker. Still she continues, turning blindly toward the American guns ahead. From the horizon, the silhouettes of West Virginia, California, and Tennessee loom like steel fortresses. Radar-guided salvos roar through the night. Shells tear into Mogami's decks. Superstructure collapsing, fuel igniting, men thrown overboard, the bridge falls silent. Smoke pours from every hatch. Fires crawl toward the magazines, ammunition cooking off in violent bursts. Commands blur into static. Every man aboard knows there will be no escape. By sunrise, Mogami drifts, burning, her flag still faintly visible through the haze. Japan's once mighty experiment, reduced to a dying ember. But even in ruin, one last act of control remained, scuttling her. The order comes quietly. Abandon ship! Fires rage across Mogami's decks, ammunition still detonating in short, violent bursts. Captain Ryoji Matsuzaki stands on the bridge, smoke curling around him, eyes fixed on the horizon. There's no anger now, only duty. One by one, lifeboats push off through the burning slicks. The cruiser lists heavily to port, hull blackened, flag still faintly visible. Moments later, the destroyer Akebono moves into position. 2 torpedoes launch, each finding home in Mogami's dying hull. The explosions are deep, final. The ship shudders once, then folds beneath the waves. Oil spreads across the sea like ink, hiding the light. More than a warship, Mogami had become a symbol of ambition, deception, and inevitable decline. Her experimental promise mirrored Japan's own path. Brilliance followed by collapse. When she vanished beneath Surigao's waters, an entire naval doctrine sank with her, ending an era built on speed, power, and illusion.